Trekking, an activity for displacement in the natural environment. We can define trekking as the act of making a long journey across difficult country on foot, usually for pleasure. It is a sports or tourist activity that consists of walking routes or trails through the countryside or mountains. The word trek began to be used in other varieties of English with the meaning a journey or leg of a journey, especially when slow or difficult. The most general features of the trekking activity are the following: allow you to enjoy nature. It requires careful planning so that it's enjoyable, safe, and does not turn into a real disaster. It can be developed by people of any physical condition and age. It's especially important to be careful with the natural environment and respect it. The terrain through which we can walk will be determined by its altitude above sea level. The lands will present certain characteristics of flora, fauna, existence or not of water, climatology and meteorological phenomena. Finally, it's important to know that it is considered low mountain the march in terrain of an altitude between 0 and 1,000 meters above sea level, medium mountain between 1,000 and 2,500 meters above sea level, and high mountains more than 2,500 meters above sea level. To classify the different types of trekking that exist, we use several joysticks. According to the schedule and the way of displacement, it can be day or night, walking, cycling, or by horse. According to the duration and the route, we differentiate three types. Stage tracks, the beginning and the end are usually in different places, can have a duration of 2 or 3 days. Radial tracks, the beginning and the end are at the same point and it can last 1 or 2 days. And lastly, staggered tracks. The routes are verified by a group of specialists who guide, and they can be done in 1 day. According to the objectives, there are several types: preparatory, ordinary, orientation, crossing, exploration, rescue aid, and so on. Some of the activities most related to ours are these: hiking, orienteering race, mountain climbing, pilgrimage, school excursions, walking or camping. When it comes to planning a trekking activity, we have to take into account two types of factors: human and environmental. In human factors, we should look at age, physical condition, characteristics of the participants, and equipment. The age, it will determine the weight to be carried in the backpack and the distance to travel. The intensity of the effort must be adapted of the weak sector of the group. The characteristics of the participants are number of students, group formation, experience, and physical and mental condition of the group. The equipment will be seen later. On the other hand, in environmental factors, we must look at altitude, type of terrain, time of the year, and food. The problems of adaptation to pressure at altitude begin at 200 and 2,500 meters of altitude. Hard terrain such as asphalt and steep slopes should be avoided. time of the year, it determines the schedule. In winter, the central hours of the day are warmer and it gets dark earlier, and in summer, the first and last hours are cooler. It is recommended to bring the necessary amount according to the calories expended, and that weighs and takes up little. To carry out the trekking activity, we must consider other important aspects. The times of march with their respective stops to rest. Do not smoke or make fire outdoors. Do not throw the garbage in the natural environment or save it until the end of the route. Do not make noise that may disturb other hikers or animals. Do not destroy plants or other qualities of nature. Respect the private properties that we find in our path. Pay attention to the signs or itineraries to follow. Always carry a device to communicate because there is a problem. Regarding the equipment and material, first of all, we have to choose the footwear. A medium boot covering the ankle, breathable, and paid is recommended. It should be flexible on the instep and have a wide toe box. Some examples of shoes that can help you are sport shoes or sneakers, light boots, trekking boots, or mountain boots. It's always good to wear a thick pair of socks under your shoes. Clothing. It must provide you with insulation against the elements of the weather, and it must be comfortable during the route. Of winter, the pants should allow you total freedom of movement as well as protect you from contact with brands or stones that we find in our path. For example, a tracksuit combined with a leotard or thermal mesh. The undershirt should preferably be made of polypropylene or chlorofiber. The wool, sweater, or polar fabrics such as fleece are essential as a middle layer. Other garments must fulfill several functions like weight, low volume, impermeability, and protection against the cold. Good woolen gloves will serve you, or else some fine gloves with mittens on top. We must also use a hat or scarf to cover the most delicate parts of the head, and simple sunglasses will protect our eyes from the cold air. Of summer. The most important part of our body to protect in summer is the head, for example, with hats, caps, or visors. We can enjoy short pants, but in the presence of brands or brambles, we will have to resort to covering our legs. Cotton is the ideal fabric for t-shirts as it eliminates sweat and protects you from the sun. In case of a storm, it is recommended to wear a raincoat. Backpack. It's important to bring chain clothes that we can touch. It will be used to transport food, a water bottle or canteen, and thus accessories that each person sees fit. For example, the sun cream, the medicine cabinet, the sleeping bag, an insulation, a camera, a compass, and so on. Another accessory that can be used is walking sticks. Thank you very much for your attention and see you soon.